He just wants it more. He wants to be the greatest that's ever played, and he's willing to sacrifice anything and everything for that one goal.
There it is, and nobody loves the spotlight more than this guy. Alex drives one deep to left field.
How can I be a GOAT like Bregman?
Become obsessed. Jason Slumps has been Alex's Bregman's hitting coach since he was 14 years old, so almost 11 years. We're almost at 11 years. Yeah, I knew when he was 16 he'd be a big leaguer. The question is, how many All-Stars will he be in, and will he have a long enough career to have a shot at the All? He was just different. He was, there's just guys that you see and you know that there's something special there, and he had a unique ability to make everybody around him better, and he wanted it more than anybody I'd ever seen. Pretty obvious that he was gonna will himself to it. I think they're good. Each person's gonna have their own timing mechanism. A leg kick's just a timing mechanism. I think the more important thing is can you control it? Can they be bad? Yes. Can they be good? Yes. It's just a bigger moving part, so a little bit easier to break down. So you've got to have better body awareness to be able to leg kick. He's an amazing hitter. He wants it more than the guy on the mound. I mean, he wants to beat the guy more than the guy on the mound. I think that's a big thing besides all of his other attributes that he has. He just wants it more than the other guy. So when Alex was, I want to say 15, and he got really caught up into, he'd start to go through struggles. We'd kind of realize he was losing his eyesight, like not seeing the ball as well. We used to put dots on the ball. So I'd have a ball with some red dots, a ball with some blue dots, a ball that had no dots, a ball that had like a green dot, and I would start by flipping them to him, and he had to tell me what color he was seeing, and then we would start them out of the machine until we could ramp up and get it to simulate about 90 miles an hour and see if he could recognize dots. It makes you really focus in on seeing the baseball a little more. I like both. I think it's the individual. I have guys who really like getting on the tee, and I have guys that don't want to be on the tee. I think it's kind of your own preference. I think tee work can be beneficial, but it can also hurt you, where flips, I don't think you can have as so much of a negative unless like you just got a bad flipper and he's doing stuff that's gonna kind of mess with your swing. To me, it's being a good hitting position. Are you balanced when you land that foot strike? Are you balanced? Is your head still? And then are you able to control the path that you want to take and keep your eye on the ball? But I would say your balance and your body awareness is going to be key to being able to see the ball the best. No, it's false. I don't know that we've really ever, me and Alex, we've always been about the hands and the hand path, because that's what's holding the bat. That's what's going to take it to the ball. I think the lower half and certain things work on their own. You shouldn't have to think about those items. For us, it's the hands. His hand-eye coordination, his bat speed, you name it. I mean, the guy's built to hit. Maybe his short arms. I might have been a beast if I had short arms like him. I would say his eyesight, it's phenomenal. How soon he can recognize a pitch, or his knowledge of the game. I mean, there's so many things that every person would want. His knowledge, the way he can think with a pitcher, his eyesight, his quickness, his fast twitch, his work ethic, you name it. Like he's the closest thing to perfection in the game that I see. One of the best things when they're young is get them out on a field and flip to them and just tell them, hey, I want you to try and hit a line drive over center field fence and start there. I know as a parent, I've got a boy who plays, so they tend to stop listening to you, and then it becomes kind of more of an argument, and I think that's when it's time to let them go to somebody else when they start not listening, or your dad, you don't know what you're talking about, those kind of things, because even I've dealt with that with my own son, and that's when you got to kind of just step back and be a dad and just support, just want them to hustle on and off the field, have their good attitude, work hard, those kind of things. That's when I would say it's time to start it up. Well, it's a drill me and Alex have done since he was 14, since I first got him. We call it angle hitting. Basically what we're going to do is, traditional people stay right in front of you when you flip. You're going to offset to the opposite field. So if you're lefty, the guy should be more towards the shortstop. If you're righty, the guy should be more like where the second baseman is. Flip or throw BP at an angle in, and that's going to force you to have to stay inside the ball. If you're around it, you're going to hit a lot of choppers or hit your foot. So that's the number one drill that me and Alex have done since day one, and we still do it to this day. It's really not about your legs being involved. It's about the position of your hip and the way your back hip sets up. So if you watch all good big league hitters, their back hip will set. It looks kind of like their back foot's turning backwards, like they're screwing it into the ground. I think that's where a lot of people miss. They think legs when it's really how you set your back hip up. But if you think of this being your hips and this is your back hip, you want it to work like this. As you're loading, you want it to work like this, and getting it to work like this is going to set your legs up to work better. What you see is a lot of guys try and get their legs so they start like rocking, and it's like they go like this. You actually are going to take your back hip kind of towards the pitcher some. Trout does it, Breggs does it, Tuve does it, Cabrera does it. I mean, there's Arenado does it. So many, all the best hitters, that back hip sets, and then that should help you get in your legs better. The problem is kids want to swing a 33 when they're 12 years old, and so they've trained themselves to swing slow for a really long time, and then they wonder why they don't have bat speed. I think it's better to have a smaller bat that you can get going quick. But bat speed's kind of a, position of your body. If your body's not in the right position, you're going to lose bat speed. If your bat's too heavy, if your hands get away from you. I wouldn't say there's one drill. I would say more or less, work with swinging with like a fungo, hit bottle caps with a broomstick. You want to train your body to be quick and those muscles to learn how to fire quick. I wouldn't say the person or personality has changed. He's always been really confident. He's always been super respectful, super giving. He's just at a different platform to where he can help more people out. He's humble. The people who were like me that were there when it started are still around. He never kind of left his roots behind. He's always kept his loyalty. He's super loyal. He believes in it. His family believes in it. And I wouldn't say he's changed really any. Just maybe now you see the confidence more and more because he's on TV more and more. The biggest change is when his first season, after he got drafted, he went to low A, had a little bit of struggle, and was determined to learn how to hit a sinker. And I think that kind of changed, put him really on the fast track, because at the time everybody was throwing sinkers and trying to force the ground balls, and he had learned as a hitter how to get that pitch into the air. I think kind of, fast tracked him a little more. And just his body awareness as he's aging is getting better and better. He knows within a swing if something is out of whack. Just one swing, he can tell me something doesn't feel right instantly. And he can change it within a swing. So I would say like his body awareness is really, really improved over the years. And he teaches me every day stuff. I think you're a fool if you think you've got this all figured out. I think if you believe that your way is the only way, you're a fool. I think there's certain things, but I learn from him all the time. I talk with him. I ask him what Altuve's trying to do. I ask him what Springer's trying to do, and that helps me help him grow as a hitter. We've been talking about that the whole off season, about having a two-strike approach and what we've done with Alex. And I think you got to be able to have the right bat path to do it. So it's going to take a little work, but you want to be able to try and hit the fastball on a line right at the second baseman. That's going to allow us to handle the breaking ball, handle a changeup. But all of this is if you have the right bat path. If you're a guy who spins, each guy's going to have know what they can do, what they can't do, to be successful. Just when his body was ready to physically do it, and in high school he hit 19 home runs his junior year. So there's always power. It just, when you got to college, it's a dead ball, dead bat. We had to alter the swing, because balls weren't going to leave the yard as easily. We didn't want to make a lot of outs. So as we got to pro ball, we've really focused on getting the ball into the air, and he's gotten stronger. He's physically stronger, and power's always the last thing to come. For 90% of players, power will be the last thing that comes. I know they want it when they're 12. But at 12, we want to be able to hit line drives all over the yard. And if we hit a couple homers, great. That's right. It just depends on what the situation is and what the pitch is. If guy's throwing a hard sinker, we've got to get to the bottom of it to get it into the air. Guy's throwing a rise ball with some hop, we've got to be able to get above it to get it on a line, and not pop it up. So he's got the right thought there. Depends on what pitch you're looking for, and what's the situation, what you're trying to do in that situation. I don't know. I thought he was the MVP. I don't know what you changed there. Personally, the last two guys who had that kind of season at 24 were MVPs. So I would say we're in a pretty good spot. We just got to continue to get better. Get out of slumps. Well, we were 1 for 32 to start it. So usually we try and just get back to hitting the ball hard 8 out of 10 times. I think slumps is usually a result of we start chasing hits, we start worrying about our average, we start looking at the numbers, and we forget the most important thing is to barrel the ball up 8 out of 10 times. You're going to get out of a slump if you're doing that. Pull side grounders, usually your front side's coming out and the bat's getting out and around the ball on the backside. So I would get on angles, some front toss angles, start hitting line drives right at the second baseman, is where I would start without seeing your swing. I wouldn't say Alex is scared. I would say he's going to have to really try and keep his weight back, because he's not going to quite get the velo that he's used to. AJ's velo is just not quite the major league level of velo that Alex sees day in and day out. It's going to be a little tougher for him to stay on that heater that's not coming at 98 anymore.